Dear academics, it's time that we work together. I'm not an academic for a few different reasons. First of all, y'all operate under extremely thin schedules of reinforcement. Like, I don't understand how you can keep going. If I had to put up with that sort of thing, I would be in the corner over here crying myself to sleep and just tapping out. I'd be done. The length of time it takes to be able to get that grant, to be able to put that team together, to be able to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, it's just not for me. Reason number two, I'm not sure if I can get away with a hat. I don't know. That might be a little superficial and a thing that isn't a problem somewhere, but it's important to me to be able to just be who I want to be all the time. That's not to say that tweed's not cool, it's just not my thing, you know? But most importantly, I'm not that smart. Like, I'm that type of guy that can take 80% of something that's thrown at him and figure out how to use it. But that doesn't really cut it in academia and research. You have to be on top of it. All of those references need to be there. You cannot miss a single control procedure when it comes to your methods. And what I learned through my thesis and other experience in that realm is just, yeah, that's not for me. The thin schedules of reinforcement doesn't really fit what it is that I like to do at the end of the day, and that I'm just not that great at it. However, I think someone like myself does fit into this grander scheme and we could work together a little bit more. I like to make videos about behavior analysis, and I understand there's some barriers to maybe you jumping on and wanting to be a part of that. All sorts of things, really. It might be that you have to get approval from somebody in your institution to be able to even go on camera and talk about certain things. It might be that it feels so scripted at that point that it's not really natural, not who you are. Maybe it's the skill sets. Maybe it's weird being behind this light and this camera being in front of you and figuring out how to treat this thing as a human. All of these skill sets have to be developed, or at least there has to be a solution to how to navigate those sort of things. And on top of that, well, it's not tied into the natural system of reinforcement when it comes to tenure or working on your research and those sort of things. Except in one way, and this is what I think is very interesting. Listen, you and I both value data, right? Like, this is what we like to just worship. Data. What are they saying? What are they speaking to us? How can we use them to inform what we need to do, where we're going? Now, a quick exemplar. There's many reasons as to why this happened, including all of the hard work. I'd say 80% of it's probably the hard work that Pat Fryman's put in, but it just strengthens my point here. This video that I worked on with Pat Fryman.
Your questions until the break. I talked for 2 minutes. Pink sweatered arm shoots into the air. She asked me a question that really is not relevant to what I'm talking.
In a week, we were able to reach 60,000 to 70,000 people on screens. That message was heard almost in its entirety, based off the metrics, by about 22,000 people. I'm not even sure if Beowulf and Risley's original article has been read front to back that many times. And the point here is that a marriage of these two could be extremely interesting when it comes to communicating our research findings, what's going on, and talking about where this field has opportunities to certain specific niche places. And while the recipe that I mentioned of all the things that go into it, from the music, the lighting, the scoring, how it all lines up, the people involved, the skill sets, etc., while all of that is hard to nail down exactly, it's getting a lot more clear, a lot more easy to understand components that help increase the likelihood of these things doing well. The only real big problem now is the resources needed to be able to put these things out there. So what's the solution? What's the first step? I think that it is having discussions around this. I want to hear your perspectives, your emails, your thoughts, your tweets, whatever it is, wherever you're at, wherever you're consuming this. Let me know if you think that there's valuable in these sort of mediums, this marriage of things going on, how you feel about it. Are you comfortable? Are you not? And I want to invite you, if you're going to the Association for Behavior Analysis International's annual convention in Chicago, myself, Matt Norman, and Matt Sikoria were invited with Derek Reed to be able to jump onto a panel. I'm going to link it down below, talking about these sort of things, the marriage of these different areas. So that's all linked down below. It is a paid event, unfortunately, so we can use this comment section as much as we possibly can to interact and chat about those sort of things. Maybe, if ABI is cool with it, we can record or stream some of it. I mean, I've always got the capability in my backpack. I can literally have it with me on site. So ABI, if you catch this, I don't know, consider maybe recording that and sharing it publicly. We could see where that goes and what happens. It could be very, very interesting of an experiment to test out. and see what people think. That's your daily BA.